So about a week ago, I did a live stream here on YouTube of building a house in The Sims 2, one for a farmer and one for a cat lady that I did not finish. But this cat lady lives in the outskirts of town of Rosewood and owns about 5 or 6 or 7 cats in total. So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the outskirts of town of Rosewood, I immediately thought of Carl from the movie Up. And because he is a very lovable, kind old man, but he was also very grumpy, refused to sell his house to the modern technology, the modern houses being built around, and refuse to sell his property. Because when you're owning your home and you've lived there for a very long time, your entire life, you don't really want to sell anything because it's a cherished memory. And I felt like with the Sim who was going to live here with their several cats, this home is also a cherished memory. Before, it used to be very clean and pristine and very upkept and like nice looking, but then over the course of the years, it kind of got very sad and broken, abandoned, and the Sim lived by themselves. They had a significant other that they really cherished and loved. They were married for several, like 40 some odd years, and then one of them passed away. And so their love is through their cats, and that is why they have all these cats. They're somewhat hated by the, local community of Rosewood because they're all by them lonesome. They live on the outskirts of town. They don't talk to anyone. They're kind of like a Agnes Crunklebottom, but on the nicer-ish side without slapping Sims for showing public affection near them and slapping with them with their purse. So I thought to myself, wanting to build an abandoned house that had character, but also, some oldness to it. So I wanted to build this all on stream, but I realized when I got towards the end, I had to kind of go away for a little bit because I was doing some stuff by myself, and I wanted to do the rest of this build in real time. So once we kind of get towards the end of this little portion, at least like the 2.5 minute mark, I will start doing the lovely little real-time build. And honestly, I have to say building in The Sims 2 is way harder than I thought it would be, even though I've been playing and building this game since like the early 2005, 2004. But back then I wasn't really building. I was mostly building sets and like not building the entirety of the house. So I never really actually built, but I built something. But I think in the course of like building in The Sims like 3 and The Sims 4, and then also kind of going back to The Sims 2, like around like 2010, 2011, I really got into everything and really enjoyed of how to build and what I want to do with it at the end result. And so making this neighborhood project has been so much fun to like rejuvenate my love of like storytelling and building and even The Sims 2. And I don't know, I'm really glad I'm taking you along with this journey of mine of like how to really make a neighborhood from scratch in The Sims 2. But let's go into the game and do the rest of the build in real time. So now that we're in the game, this is what the neighborhood looks like so far. I'm sure you've already seen it in like videos and live streams, but to give you a quick overview, we've done a few changes already since the last time we kind of talked about this when I did the apartment townhouse. But I will say the general like town square area has kind of remained the same. I'm thinking of like moving some other lots around or like deleting a few because I feel like this could be a little bit too much, but then I also want to make it as lively as possible. Maybe changing some of the lots into community lots rather than like residential, so there's a little bit more variety to it. I thought about adding in like a lounge or like a little underground bar or a speakeasy of some type, especially like up here in the woodsy area. I'm going to add in a motel, a small park, a little diner, and also in like another, kind of residential area of like 2 houses on one lot, or mostly like trailer parks up here in the woods area, because we have the strip mall and we also have the library up here, and that's kind of all I want to do in this section. But then moving over to the farm area, I really had a lot of fun decorating and laying out this area because it's your farming district. We have the farmer's market, we have another little farmhouse over here, a more of an empty farmhouse, and then I'm going to put a diner up here, like a big diner up here, and then a few other farmhouses that may or may not be empty. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but I want to get your thoughts on it if you want to see some semi, furnished houses or fully furnished houses, or just leave some lots empty. Because I'm thinking that I want to leave some lots empty for you to add your own interpretation, your own creativity spin to it. So that way, this stuff is all laid out here, but it's not permanent. Of course, you can move things as you want, but I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think? Should I delete them? Should I add, fully furnished houses or semi-furnished? Let me know in the comments. And then over here is where the cat lady lives on the outskirts of town. I'm thinking of adding like one small lot right here, but I don't know what I want to do. I'm thinking of making like some type of like abandoned gas station or abandoned like little market or something, like kind of like The Walking Dead where all the stuff is abandoned and broken down and you have to, like, scrounge for like food and like wherever it's at. So I'm thinking of doing that, of giving the cat lady her own little lot, like this small lot right here, of like having a small little something. I don't know, but it could be interesting. So I'm gonna leave it up to you all if you want to see like a small little something over here, or just leave it her house right here. But this is what I have so far of the house. You can kind of see I was fiddling around with like the pond. Terrain tools in The Sims 2 are very different from The Sims 3 and 4, and even 1, which it barely had any in the first game, but it was there. But I kind of just played around with the pond area over here so you can go fishing. I also added in like this little sunken thing into the ground because it just seems kind of good to have an abandoned something. And then all of the terrain is really kind of worn out, burnt, all the things you can think of. So I wanted to make sure you had some, oldness to it. I don't think I'm going to give this cat lady a car, because for some reason with like Sims 2 and like cars, you have to place them on like a driveway for them to be functional. What if I do? Let me type in move objects, because I think if I type in move objects, I can get away with what I want and still be fine, because technically they don't go all the way up to the edge. So the Sims will be fine. I think having like a little, yeah, like that looks fine. So I think having a car right here could be good. We'll change like the color to more of like a darker color, but I'm thinking the Sloppy Joe Loppy car could be even better, because this one does have like more of a rundown, like rustic, old looking beat up car newness to it. There are others, but they don't look too crazy. So I think having this one right here seems like a really good idea. It has like rust on it too. I want to definitely try my best to utilize a lot of the Sims 2 apartment life, because they got a lot of like industrial looking furniture that I really love. And I remember a long time ago I did a build in Pleasant View, I think for Dirk Dreamer, I'm pretty sure. And his house was also very broken down and abandoned looking. And it has like a similar vibe where there's like a pond and like random stuff everywhere. But it's his job to eventually, make it new and make it his like permanent home. I plan to do like a current household update video at some point soon in the future for Pleasant View, because it's been a minute since I've done anything gameplay wise in The Sims 2 on this channel, and I want to start bringing that back. But I've also thought about too of like mixing some face cam and like no face cam in certain videos, because I don't know what it is, me and my brain are like having battles every single day. We're going through a lot of things mentally, I will say, because there are days where like I want to do face cam, and there are other days I don't want to do face cam because I just don't feel up to it. And whenever I don't do face cam, I just don't post a video, so it feels very odd. So I think I want to definitely mix that, mix and mingle of like how I want to like make my videos going forward in the future, because in that way you have more videos from me, and then I still could post my creative things that I want to do, especially like gameplay. I'm not fit for face cam gameplay videos anymore. I just don't feel like I don't really need to do that. Unless I want to, then I will, but most of the time I feel like I just don't have the bandwidth to do face cam for gameplay as much as I used to do in like the early like a couple years ago, I will say. So I hope you don't mind that of not seeing my face in some videos. Personally, it's easier to edit. I will say it's easier to edit when there's no face cam, because in that way I don't gotta look at my face for several hours a day. But hey, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy making videos, and I just kind of just like dabbling into new things. As a Pisces who has ADHD, I gotta stay creative, stimulated somehow, so I'm not like burnt out or doing the same thing over and over. So I think this gives me like a good balance between the two that I love, of making videos with and without face cam. Especially when I do like the indie dev day videos, those will always have face cam because I feel more relaxed when I make those. Whereas when I play Sims, I feel low-key stressed most of the time. But that is just me, of how I am on a daily basis. So I'm thinking for the interior for this house, I want to make this the bedroom. This could be like the bathroom, but I might honestly open this hallway area up a little bit more and make this small area, the bathroom, because we can squeeze in like a shower tub combo here, toilet here, sink here, and still kind of get what we want, and maybe having something like right here in the center. And then over here could be something, I don't know. It's going to be a very small little house for like 6 or 7 cats. We're going to have to fit in a cat tree some way, somehow in here, and maybe like another 2 cat trees at most, and probably another pet bed if we can. I want to make the kitchen very small, so we'll probably have the kitchen like right here in this section, dining room right here, and then living room in this section right here. There was a video that I did of reviewing a Sims 2 neighborhood, and there was a wallpaper that had more like that old grungy looking, and I think it was in this section. If I remember correctly, I think it was. I'm telling you, this catalog is small. Oh, here it is. I found it. So this is the one that I want to use because it has like all these holes in the wall, but I don't think it fits this home as much. If there was like a darker tone of this exact same one, it would be perfect. Simply stunning. Like, I like this. It's giving old abandoned hotel, like the Tower of Terror. This is what the wallpaper is giving. Spooky. And I'm here for it. But now I'm also thinking too, we could not go wrong with adding in brick. What is this? Ragged beachy keen paint for kick moldy with in white wood. Was this always in the game? Was this always here? Wait a minute, hold on. Was this always in the game? Faded frames, beachy keen paint. Reminisce about the long past summers spent by the shore with the sandy shade. Was this always in the game? Cause wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Okay, better idea. What if we use this wallpaper here in the bedroom, of course, because I got some ideas. And then, what if we do? Getting excited all over again. This is exciting. I mean, I've been playing this game for so many years, but there's things in here that I don't really use. So this is making me very excited. What if we make part of it like unfinished? So we'll have like maybe wallpaper over here in the kitchen area, like here, like they're remodeling or doing something, or things just it's got very broken. So we had some old wallpaper everywhere. So maybe we do something like here. I'm actually going to delete these walls because I know what I want. And we'll do the same thing on these walls over here. I think I kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Maybe we can also do this and have a small little archway so things look closed off, but yet open at the same time. We don't have spandrels in The Sims 2, so there's like a bit of a tiffy in that portion. Oh, did I forget this one? I did. There we go. And I forgot this one too. There we go. So these are the same. So this is what we got so far for the layout. I kind of want to make all this half done because then it adds a little bit character to it. So to give you all an idea and the reason why I thought about making this house fit for a Sim who has like at least 5, 6, or 7 cats is because, like, you know, I don't really play with a lot of pets in The Sims. I never have, and I probably haven't done it in a very long time because pets are a lot of work in The Sims. They're very high maintenance. With The Sims 2, we're very limited on certain breeds, and also in The Sims 3, it's very expansive, and then The Sims 4, pets are just out of the wazoo wild. But then also, too, knowing that with The Sims 2 pets, your pets can actually get jobs. So they can actually contribute to the household, gain some skills, learn some new tricks, kind of like make them more accessible and more easier to kind of manage with your Sims lives. So I never really fully played with pets that much during my Sims 2 days, but I'm starting to do it a little bit more because I think the challenge of having another, thing in your home gives you the benefit of trying something new that you're scared of. And like for me, I've never had a pet in my life up until like last year. And if you don't follow me on my Twitch streams or my YouTube streams now, I have a dog named Randy Joe who is going to be turning 4 years old at the end or midway through December. His birthday is December 16th and he's a Maltese. And I love him so dearly. Very sassy. A very sassy child that he is. But you know what? I don't care. I love him so much, and he loves me very much so, but he is sure enough is sassy. If you know, you know. If you have a pet, you know, because what in the world is going on? Honestly, You never really know until you have one. But I will say having a pet in The Sims 2 really made me understand like there's so many tricks you can teach them, so many ways to like have them go here or go there or like have them get a job. And with pets in The Sims 2, they only have 3 careers that only go up to level 3. And there's a show business, police, and there's also a, I believe, a medical one or a crime one. There's like I know there's 3. I know one's fame and one is technically like police force, so that you have at least 2. And cats can also have the same one, but when they get promoted, they get better carpools. Every sim, every pet has their own carpool, and it's like, what you talking about? That my 6-year-old dog has a limo for their carpool to go to their job? Like, what do you mean? That makes no sense. I don't understand. But yet, I also understand at the same time. Okay, so the idea is that I want to make sure this home has everything your Sims need and more some. I'm going to make it where the Sim cats, because you can teach your cats in The Sims 2 how to use a toilet rather than a litter box. Litter boxes take up more space in The Sims 2, and I'm going to make it where the pets already know how to use the toilet as one of their tricks, one of their skills that they've learned. So I'm not going to use a litter box unless I will add a litter box outside just for the pure chaoticness of it, because sometimes not all cats can really go inside, and I think some could be trained and some could be untrained. At least like maybe 2 could be trained and the other 3 are just like there. So we'll put a cat litter box outside. So I think this is kind of like a good way of figuring out what furniture to add and what furniture not to add, because this sim doesn't really have a lot of things to their name anymore, at least. Of course, living in Rosewood for over about like 50 some odd years and being married for about 40 of those years, they've earned a lot of respect and lost a lot of respect. And like I said, they are not really the most nicest person to come across when it comes to socialization. You'll see them out and about in different areas in Rosewood, but most of the time they keep to their lonesome. They have a very like shy personality. They're very serious but very shy. They can be somewhat grouchy, but they can also be somewhat, nice at the same time. If you are on their good side, they will be very, very kind to you unless you stir them the wrong way. And then it's your own fault for doing what you did. But I think I want to definitely kind of plan out the Sims story a little bit more of how I want to see them grow over time, because essentially it feels like I'm writing a whole book. Really, like it really does feel like I'm writing a whole book at this point because of all the Sims that I'm creating for this and also the stories that I'm telling. So at this point, should I write a book? I probably should. And honestly, what's stopping me? Fear? Yes. But I ain't gonna let fear control my life, that's for sure, especially in 2026. Also, what was that light that I just placed down? What was that? Wait, where did it go? Oh, right here. What is this? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Sims 2, who are you? Where'd you come from? Who made you? Will Wright? Hold on, wait. Okay, I kind of like that. I've never used this light before in my entire life. I'm literally not joking. I build a certain way and I only build with certain objects. So I never have ever seen this before. Plus it looks so funky. It's like an upside down C with a little bit of a curve to it. Huh. Interesting. The more you build in this game, the more you discover, and it's quite shocking. Honestly, it really is. We'll add some lights over here. Oh, before I even do anything else, I'm going to add in these street lights because in that way, the area is well lit up. I'm not going to add one over here because I know it's going to block something. So we'll leave that the way it is. We'll add this mailbox here, trash bin right here, and then maybe squeezing in some... Ooh, add them on both sides of the fence post. Sounds like a good idea. So it's well lit up on this side. The flooring, I think I kind of want to leave unfinished just because it just seems kind of cool that way. Let's also do this. Let's move this over here. Move that right there. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I think this is going to be a good way to kind of lay out everything. And again, the sim does not have a lot of stuff. The majority of the things were either burned, stolen, or sold. What if I do a Murphy bed situation? I could do that and move this window back into the middle where it was before with this window, because this bed can go up, so it saves on space, but still it gives you like that hideaway, there's nothing here, don't grab anything, I don't have any money, I don't have anything, kind of vibes. So we'll go with this. Ooh, I like that cheetah print. Oh, but I like this more. Okay, we'll go with this more floral pattern. And then we'll move this probably over here on this side because I want to add a bookcase right here because they read a lot. I'm thinking that the sim probably had a career in journalism or some type of like teaching over the course of their years of living in Rosewood and then later on retired. I wouldn't necessarily say that they were an elder, but they're a little bit more on the mature of the adult side, but getting close to being an elder. So I might make this sim an elder just because of like the story, but then I also want to keep them to be a little bit older. So they're going to be at the very beginning of their elder stage. So they're not going to die anytime soon. So they'll be safe. They'll be fine. They'll be okay. Also, what did I do with this? That's kind of a lot, but you'll be fine. What if I add this? Move this back here. Put that here. Put this above the thing. I don't care. And, oh, or, no, I don't want to do that. I think that would be kind of crazy if I added just a single clothing rack right there. There's going to be no television of any kind. Like I said, the sim reads a lot. They have a lot of things to their name, but they don't really keep a lot of things. Let's put this freezer bunny up on top of said bookcase right here. It might be floating, actually, now that I think about it. Freezer bunny, thank you. Yes, it is floating, but do I care? Not really. Because in a way, are we really gonna all that? No. But we're just gonna pretend that it wasn't floating, okay, chat? Okay? We're gonna pretend it wasn't floating. They can say that they went to a carnival, found a little freezer bunny, wanted as a prize, and then this urn, this vase right here, is an urn. So I'm gonna do a lot of like background work of really making all these sims and then making sure all the connections are making sense. Because to give you a little bit of a background with this neighborhood, this neighborhood, before a long time ago, I had made a similar neighborhood that was not Rosewood and it was almost finished. And then here's the problem. I like to manipulate with code. Coding and me are not the best buds. Even though I understand code, I'm not the best at it. And I use a program called SimPE, which you can use to manipulate and modify literally anything in The Sims 2, even make and clone objects, and change how they look, price-wise, description, all the things. And in this neighborhood I manipulated way too much that it literally broke the entirety of that neighborhood. I mean, glitches upon glitches, and it was just bad. So I'm taking my sweet, precious time with this one so that way it is running well, adds all the things that I want, but then also gives you a sense of, replayability and story and drama. It's like your own little mini telenovela, essentially. So I want to give it some new life, at least this neighborhood. And Rosewood just feels more exciting to me. And I like what I'm doing with this so far, and you all seem to like it too. So it makes me very happy that I feel like I'm doing something right with this hood rather than like the old hood that I had, which most of you all know what it is. I've made videos about it in the past, and I've thought about actually getting those old houses because I have the neighborhood, but it doesn't run well. But there's one particular house that I really, really love that I want to transfer over here. And I did a speed build of it a couple of years ago. And if you want to watch it, I'll link it in the description below. But it was like this house with a truck in the middle of the home. Like it was a standard 2-story house, but it had 2 elders. They had like this nice little red truck, and it was a very cute little home. Like it just had a little nice little touch to it that I think I want to recreate at least. Oh, and you know what? This could be like their little marriage portrait thing, like their 2 hands and all the little signatures from their wedding. So I think that could be a really good touch to their life. I want to add some posters to this area, but I'm also thinking, what could I possibly add? Your Sims don't really interact with the security alarm. It doesn't need to be armed or anything. It already comes automatically armed. So I think I could probably add in a little, ooh, this right here. I can add this chair right here in this more of a brown plaid color or gray. I think I want to go with brown because I feel like it matches a little bit better because of what I want to do. And then I want to add in some plants onto the floor on the side of it. And I'm gonna have to turn on this long cheat, bool prop, snap objects to grid, false. This long cheat that I just typed in allows you to move your objects and place them wherever you want and not on the grid. It definitely is a long cheat, but it adds to the variety of things you can do and how you can place things. I only mainly do this for just fun little builds like this because I can really kind of allow my creativity to do whatever I want and how I want without limitations. So we'll add a little thing over here. And then I want to also add a little plant onto this side back here. So everything else seems to be pretty normal on the outside. I want to add something else over here. I know I'm going to eventually add in a grill. So let's add that right now before I forget. We'll add a grill right here. Maybe even adding in a small little table on the side so you can put your stuff on there. Like this one, and then adding in said chair, foldable chair right here. Now I wonder, I have a mod that allows me to basically move things wherever I want and like raise things off of the ground however I want. It's a mod by Lamar. I think it's called Shiftable Everything. I'll link it in the comments below so you can like download that mod. It's very useful. I like using it a lot. And even though I think a sim is going to actually sit on this, I still think having this could be really cool. Okay, so let's figure out the kitchen situation so that way we know what we're working with, because I know we're gonna have a small kitchen, maybe a small dining room, and also a very small living room. So we don't have a lot of room, but we have some room, especially knowing that I want to add in at least 5 cats, because I'm thinking there's no way I can fit in 7 cat bowls. I mean, reality, I could, along this entire wall right here to get away with it. At least 5 pet bowls I could. 7 is kind of stretching it, unless they want to share and then they can do that. But I'm thinking to myself, over here we could have like a small little area of probably these little counters, maybe like at least two counters at most. And then the rest of the part is just the fridge and stove. So we'll probably do this. Fridge right here, counter right here, and then we'll have the stove right here. Hello? Grandpa? What are we doing? I'm gonna turn off move objects for a second. Can't intersect with wall. What you talking about, Willis? Oh, okay, there we go. I'm like, I know you work, you better get it together. We're gonna have problems. But no, I think we'll do it like that because I think it just helps it with like the idea that I want to do. But going back to my idea, so this whole little area is going to be really hard to like maintain. You don't have a lot of counter space, but you have at least enough space to do what you want at least. But I want to tell you a little bit of a story because I am on TikTok all the time. I'm chronically online, like a lot, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But there's this person on TikTok that I don't think I follow them, but I just see their TikToks a lot. But there's this person who has like these 2 black cats, and every single day they hide their cat bowls in different locations. And I think it's been going on for the past like 18, 19 days or something like that. And each day is a different location, and these cats are clawing underneath the door every single time, every day. And it's so hilarious. The comment section is very funny. And it's like these cats haven't eaten in 2 minutes. And it's like a funny little thing. And it's like a hunting game for these cats. These cats are jumping onto the counters, on top of the sink, on top of the stove. Like they're jumping every single place you could think of. And even though they saw their bowl, they're still searching for the bowl until like the very last second. So it's like the coolest TikTok series without it being a series I've ever seen in my entire life. But I don't know, cats are very funny to me, and I've never had a cat, but I've had neighbors who have had cats that were orange cats, and I now understand orange cat behavior. Orange cat behavior is a whole other experience because why are orange cats like that? If you have an orange cat, please explain to me like I'm 5. Why are orange cats like that? Love them, but why are they like that? I think I'm gonna go with this one. This one looks better. Same goes with the chair. So we'll leave this chair and this table right here. We'll change the color of this table to fit more of like a bluer-ish rugged tone. So you have like this tile right here, and then the rest of the space is the living room. And maybe I might squeeze in like a small little like TV of some type. I don't know, because there is one TV that is made for the floor, I believe. Yeah, it's right here. I would say this is like an old timey TV. And I'm gonna raise it up a little bit higher. But I think, you know what? I'm gonna squeeze in one of these coffee tables that are a little bit bigger, like this one right here. But then raise this up off of the floor so it looks like it's sitting on top of it, like right there. I think that could look really, really cool, just for like the general story. It was once there, lifted up, and never moved ever again. But the TV actually does work. This couch, however, I'm going to switch this out, and I'm thinking I want to have. Ooh, this is different. We'll have one armchair that you can recline back to, like that one. Yeah, we'll do something like that for this chair. And then for the actual couch, ooh, we'll go with this one. We'll go with this couch right here. We'll make it like a nice, weird looking color. And then this recliner. Oh, this looks old and dusty. Just what I want. Ooh, what is this called again? Hold on. Cheap, easy, puffy recliner. Oh my gosh. What is this one? Way back recliner. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one. This matches like kind of like the general style that I want for the said, relaxation of it all. We'll go with this color because it kind of matches a little bit. And then I think I want to see if I can squeeze in some type of computer, because in that way we have some access to technology some way, somehow. Now, in reality, we could squeeze in this whole little computer desk where we want. Now, I'm going to delete that. I can put this right here. We can still access this whole area perfectly fine, because once this is up, we can move around how we want. So we're going to do that. We're going to take this right here. We're going to get a new computer. Oh, and this is where all of my modded stuff was at. No wonder I wasn't going crazy. What is diagnostic? Property adjuster? Oh, it's in Inseminator. That's what it's called. I'm like, what in the what? Okay. Let's do this. We'll add in the big back computer from the early 2000s, the dial-up days, if you will. Oh, and that means I can actually add in the picture frame that I want to add in over here, which I'm going to add that. Ooh. Let's see. What if I do this? 1, 2, and then it solves my issue. I kind of want to raise this. Yeah, I kind of want to raise this up and put it onto the TV, like on top of it, which I think would be really cool. It's not floating, which is fine. This is good. And then we'll delete those other two paintings right there. Perfectly so. There aren't any individual shoes I can add to this area, which is okay. The cats are already occupied. I might add in like one little easel in this corner so your Sims can like probably paint if they want to. And then this could be what it is for the pet to sleep inside. And then for the general wallpaper, or the general like wall for decor wise, I feel like there's always something missing. Oh, yes. The way this looks like it's from a cat cartoon is literally sending me, because where did this come from? Who made this? Also, what is it called? Kitten vs. Yarn Season 1 print. After failing to appeal to children, Kitten vs. Yarn was moved to late night time slot. Adults and elders found constant joy in watching the stupid kitten battle her nemesis, the wily and cunning Yarn. After 4 seasons, Kitten vs. Yarn was syndicated to all the major cable networks, followed by a live-action movie, 3 hours of Kitten on Yarn pouncing action, and full-line merchandise, including a themed puzzle game to release next fall. What? What in the actual? What in the world? Wait a minute. Was that I'm telling y'all, Sims 2 iconic, and it still is. But I'm thinking to myself, could they ever like make a little cartoon out of that? Like now? Like that would be great. Something about children TV is more entertaining than like Euphoria and Riverdale and some other shows I've seen. I don't know why. Like Bluey, I love me some Bluey. Bluey is my ride or die. I love Bluey so much. I just wish there was another season. I want more episodes, like right now. But I love me some Bluey. Children TV is great. Tom and Jerry was like my favorite like cartoon growing up as a kid, and I still watch it till this day. They still make things for Tom and Jerry still. Even SpongeBob. Which, by the way, if you haven't heard the news, SpongeBob is getting a brand new movie, like brand new in 2026. I think it's coming out in 2026, but I heard the announcement. I'm like, what do you mean? Another SpongeBob movie? The last one I remember was when SpongeBob and Patrick were trying to go to the surface to go find the crown for Mr. Krabs and find the crown for King Neptune. So King Neptune doesn't, zap Mr. Krabs into a fresh fried crab. I mean, there's so many things about SpongeBob that I've learned, and I'm like, is that why the way I am today, Delulu and crazy all at the same time? Yes. And I asked myself, am I okay? No. I'm mentally unstable. My brain is broken sometimes. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but we're gonna do what we can. Okay, so I'm thinking that we'll have this bronze trophy here, and then we'll also add in, wasn't there? Oh, here it is. We'll add in this right here above the cat bed. And we'll make this like so. A lot of random, like chaotic clutter is everywhere, which makes total sense for this home, which is what I wanted. So the vision is there. And the last piece that I want to make very, very, very valuable is probably this 4,000 simoleon vase. And I think this could be the Sim who used to live here and pass away. This is their urn. And so this is where they're going to be. And I'm going to place it on top of said TV. Like right here. And that is where they're going to rest for the rest of their life. You cannot change it up, which is okay. So now that we're officially done, this is what the house looks like. And I have to tell you, I'm really happy on how it turned out. The idea that it was broken, abandoned, and sad and filled with clutter, but with a purpose. And so I feel like I have achieved that, idea, that theme as much as I possibly could, especially in The Sims 2 and knowing it's over 20 years old. So I wanted to really make it something unique and something that had a story and something that really had a lot of longevity even after the sim passes away. So this is going to be their sloppy jalopy car over here that they use every once in a while to go into town to get groceries, probably interact with some other people and old friends that they probably have left. So this will be their car. And then over here, I have a little karaoke microphone machine over here if they want to sing out, with their feelings in the dark, deep night, if they so please. We have their mailbox, their trash can, their little pond that they can go fishing in if they so please. And then going on to the inside of the house, we have their entrance area. Now, this sim only has about five-ish so cats or so. And to be fully honest, this sim is going through it mentally, physically, emotionally, all the feels. They've kept their house pretty much the same and didn't really maintain it very well over the course of like 10-15 years of their significant other passing away. So with them being able to still maintain the bills, it's still very hard for them to live here, but they don't want to move anywhere else because they feel like if they move and leave their house behind, they have nothing else to feel something again, if that makes sense. So their entrance area is filled with a lot of like their cat trees, some other appliances like their clock, grandfather clock they got from their grandfather from past years, and then their wall clock that is more modern looking, their wall phone, heater, coat rack, some plants, and of course another scratching post and a nice little chair over here with some plants on the side, security alarm for security reasons. And then over here is our bedroom slash mini office. I decided to go with like a more of a Murphy bed situation because I felt with the Murphy bed, you can at least, move the bed up off of the ground and to the wall. So you have a little bit more walking space. So that way you can go to your bookcase or to your desk over here if you need to type up like a novel or an article or just like email somebody that you might know that you need some money from. But this is their bedroom and this is their bathroom. Honestly, their bathroom is... It's an experience. Their bathroom is a true experience, and it's scary. but it is what it is. You got your toilet, your sink, and your tub, and that's about it. Then on this side is their kitchen, living room, and dining room all wrapped into one. So your kitchen's over here, dining room is like literally right there, and then your living room is right here. I added in some of these ventilation vents over here in the living room area because I felt like it just made sense. But I also added an event over here, and I think I also added one over here on this wall. And now that I'm thinking, I did not add any pet bowls into this house whatsoever. So I'm thinking and thinking that we could probably, this is a bit of a tricky situation. We'll delete this trophy because we don't need it anymore. The idea was gone. We need to add in some pet bowls because how else will these cats eat? What will they eat? A mouse? Maybe. But we'll add in one, and then we'll add in two here. And then I think this pet bed might be in my way, so I will have to add you. Ooh, this is hard. This is very hard. Because I don't want the cats to sleep outside. That would be just downright crazy. I actually could get rid of this easel or just put the easel over. Oh, hello. I could actually put this easel over here in this section. And then, you know, randomly just delete a pillar or two. It doesn't matter, really. Or I can do this. I can just casually, freely move them to the edge so I at least have some space for said pet bed right here where I want. So I'll do just like that. I kind of like move things around, I will say. I add in like a garden, I added in a bonfire, an easel, some fireworks, a grill, some chairs and a table, a composting bin, and even some like ladybugs, and a cat litter box on the outside because I just feel like there's nowhere else these cats can really go to the bathroom unless they are trained to use the toilet, which I might do for all cats, but you never know. Having a little safety net somewhere in the home or outside of the home. But I think that's what I want to do for the general like vibe of the home. I want to probably add in one more thing, and that might be a fence around this back area so it feels more closed off. So we'll have to add in this one right here. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there we go. We'll do this all the way wrapped around. You know what? I'm thinking we could probably add in a telescope. Maybe delete the bonfire and then add in a telescope so one, we can like search the stars and maybe possibly get abducted by an alien. That could work in our favor. So that seems pretty normal to me for a home that has been abandoned for at least a couple of decades. But for the most part, I am pleased with what I've done, and I want to do another one in the future. But we might do a house for the farmer area or for said town square or the woods area. I'm not too sure, but if you have any ideas or any opinions of what I could do for the future, let me know in the comments below as always. But as always, I do hope you all enjoyed today's build as much as I did. Let me know down in the comments below as always of what you thought of this cat lady's house, the story, the vibe, everything in between. But as always, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Listen to my podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and I will see you all next time. Bye.